TP, TP. We've been waiting all summer long for it. Woo!
I got you. I'm listening.
It feel like that time of year. Woo! We outside, getting ready for it. Another one. Gathering the Old Men podcast, special edition. College football, love and hate. Oh, it's that time of year. Oh man, you feel it? I feel it, TP. I feel it in my bones. I feel it. I just, oh,
What
let
you
that just
feel?
wash
What
over
you
me.
feel?
I just, I feel like LSU finna wear an ass whooping. That's what I feel like. I feel like them 6 people in the MEAC might have something to talk about. Because them D people at Jackson State, I don't think they're going to be able to do nothing. But we'll get to that later. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's another one. Gathering the Old Men podcast. 2 men up, 1 man down, 1 on the way. It's your boy, Troy, TP. We out here. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Man, TP. All right, y'all. So, it is a very interesting week this week. A lot of stuff happened, but that Gilbert Arenas dude, Gilbert, no matter how controversial you are, you're never getting in the Hall of Fame. You're never going to be that guy. So just stop. Stop all the stuff. Because this
He
is what
wants to
happened
be
this
in the
week.
Hall of Fame.
That's got to be it. That's got to be why you. He interviewed Steph Curry, and he asked Steph Curry, "Who's the greatest point guard of all time?" And Steph said, "Me." Now he said me like he was joking, and then he said me and Magic. Magic say the NBA. Magic and Bird say the NBA. Magic got
You think
5 of them
so?
things. Absolutely. The NBA was a drug haven. The superstars had drug problems. There are superstars you don't know about because they had drug problems. There's a player named Roy Tarpley that you will never hear about. That coming out of college, he was him. Drug problems. But wait, that ain't the issue. The issue is greatest point guard of all time. Magic got to be in that conversation by himself. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like John Stockton. I don't. He ain't got no rings. But every time we start talking about point guards, we keep leaving that dude out. And I'm not sure why. I have nobody can explain to me why that man get left out.
How many
But
championships did he win?
none. Absolutely none.
That's why he gets. That's
None.
why you get left out.
And these same people keep putting Mighty Mouse in that conversation. I know I don't want to. CP3 is not in the top 5. I don't care who don't like it. He's not in the top 5.
Also because he hasn't won.
But this constant
So
discussion
so
about
so 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 let's look at it like this, right? Point guards are looked at as the quarterbacks of their team. Who gets blamed the most when a football team loses? There's way more people on the field, which is actually crazy that we gonna blame one guy when the team loses in football. Because you got 2 sides of the ball, special team. There's a lot of moving factors, but they normally blame one person. Now in basketball, it's often delegated to the best player on the team But also, how can you ever consider yourself to be a great point guard if you never won? Because the whole purpose of a point guard is to facilitate offense, guard other teams' point guards, and be the leader quarterback of their team. Now
Ooh,
CP3
TP.
has yet to get it done. He's gotten no other point guard has made it to the Western Conference Finals as many times as him and not made it past that. It's actually remarkable. And it took him forever just to get to a Western Conference Final. They was like, of all the point guards that have won an MVP, it took him the longest to even get to a conference final. So no, he's not on that list. He showed up to work. What you say? You don't get credit for showing up to work?
No, you do not get credit for showing up to work. I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Then this is where we're
at. Marlo just joined us. We talking about the comments of Steph Curry saying that him and Magic are the greatest point guards of all time. I struggle with putting him in the same stratosphere as Magic. I think Magic should be in a room by himself. Magic was different.
You don't think Curry can fit into that? Why?
Curry just, I don't even want to look at numbers. I just want to look at just what he did. His impact on the floor. Steph Curry made every little dude think he could play basketball. I give him that. 100% that.
You know what I know? You know what? I know what your problem with Curry is. I know what your problem with Curry is.
Oh, here we go.
He's a liability on defense. You don't like players that can't play both sides of the ball. You don't like considering players that can't play both sides of the ball as all-time greats. Or the best ever. You can't be. Let me put it like this: you can't consider yourself the best player ever if you are a complete liability on one side of the ball. Is that fair?
I would, yeah. I'll go ahead and say that's fair.
Because like we look at Oscar Robertson, he could do both. Magic could do both. Hell, Pete Maravich could do both. Bob Cousy could do both. You see where I'm going with this?
Oh, my friend Tim said Curry ruined 2K. But
it really did, because then everybody just started pulling up threes. They took the whole, you don't even run pick and rolls no more. You just stop. If they not close enough, shoot it.
Yeah, just damn, put your hand up. You better foul. But here's the other thing, and like I said, the fact that Magic was Finals MVP, which he shouldn't have got, it should have went to Kareem, but Kareem was not there, so it was a TV award. Let's call it what it was. It was a TV award. Magic was there. That's why Magic got it. But we can't discredit the fact that Magic played all 5 positions in that finals. All 5. Curry ain't never doing that. That's something we never got to worry about Curry doing. He is not finna say, you know what? I got the center. I got this. So Magic is Magic.
And people don't like to give Magic the credit, he's due. But when we look at the grand scheme of things, Magic Johnson is the most versatile player to ever step on the basketball court. And the next person closest to that is LeBron James.
How many 7-footers did Magic have to guard?
I mean, we didn't have a lot of 7-footers back
7-footers. But he was guarding how long?
But he did guard. He guarded Patrick Ewing. And they played the Knicks.
He guarded.
And that's one of the greatest centers that we know of.
He guarded Ralph Sampson. on the way to them finals.
Really?
Akeem wasn't Akeem back then. Ralph was him until them feet started acting up. And kids, please understand, it's a lot of centers back in the day that would have been hell, but them feet with them cheap old shoes, I'm just here to tell you, Chuck Taylor's was not meant to do everything.
They was out there, Chuck Taylors with no soul. And I'm not talking about a lack of heart or being... I'm not talking about that when I say soul. I mean, there was no rubber on the bottom of them feet.
Mm-hmm. So,
but
I need to...
The only other player to guard all 5 positions has been LeBron in the play.
That's what I just said.
But I'm just saying, but he guarding 7-footers.
I'm talking about the position. I'm not delegating it to the height of who they're guarding.
No.
What we're saying is these 2 players are the most versatile to ever do it because they could guard 1 through 5.
I agree. And I think
that's all.
I think they can play 1 through 5 too.
Yeah, and they have.
When people forget Magic came back.
A lot of times, if you look at their setup when he was in Miami, and they had Chris Bosh would be the 4, and LeBron would be at the 5. He would be doing 5 shit on defense. Because especially when they played Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki was the power forward. There was another dude on the court, and that's who LeBron was rotating to when they didn't have it wasn't Verjao.
Haslam.
When Haslam was off the court, because Haslam couldn't guard the Tyson Chandler. They was putting LeBron on Tyson just because he was stronger. It had nothing to do with height. And they left Bosh sadly on Dirk Nowitzki, and Dirk averaged 30. But you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna stray off. But Magic Johnson should be considered the best point guard of all time. No, hands down. I don't even think we should have anybody in the argument with him.
No.
Because there's nobody that could do what Magic did. Nor will there ever will be.
I agree. And so Stephen A. made a comment that Stephen A. made a comment
easiest 30 ever
that Curry is the all-time greatest point guard, and I don't think Michael Jordan make it a habit of calling in, sending text messages, and none of that. But Mike said you can read this on air. Mike said you can read it on air. You can read it on air, and I'm gonna let this load up, and I'm gonna let it play. Let me go ahead and let this load up and let it play, because Michael Jordan getting into the conversation. Anytime ESPN. Oh well. Is it loaded up, ESPN? Y'all taking a long time to load up. It may be my internet. But basically, I'm going to go ahead and summarize this because we ain't got time to wait on that. Mike said Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard, point blank period. That's it. Ain't no discussions, ain't no close. That's it. Mike said that.
That's it.
When the GOAT call in, you got to take it for what it is. And he had to play against him. He played against him and played with him.
And you know what the problem is? We can't use GOAT for anybody that still plays. You can't be considered the GOAT if you still lacing up your shoes every night. Stephen Curry is getting ready for a season. You think he gives a fuck about whether or not he's considered the greatest of all time? That shit don't matter. He trying to go get a ring.
Yep.
There's motherfuckers that ain't on the court right now, running their mouth, trying to tarnish somebody's legacy who's already proven that they were the best. Can Steph Curry ever be considered the greatest point guard of all time? Fuck no. He's not Magic. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing that he can do. Nothing. Because he will never be as versatile. There's physical limitations that he's battling. That he will never be as great as Magic Johnson. He doesn't have the facilitator skill. He doesn't have the defensive skills. Those are two very important aspects. Yeah, you can be a winner. But Bill Russell has more rings than anybody, but he's left out of every GOAT conversation I've ever heard.
Every time.
So winning ain't
the bad part.
Steph Curry might be the best shooter.
Him over Bill.
Look, he could be the best shooter. Shit, he might be the best teammate. But the best point guard? No. Stop it. Magic Johnson own that. Will always own it. And until you get another 6'8" to 6'9", 6'10" guy that come in that can play 1 through 5 and facilitate offense the way he did and play defense the way he did and guard every position on the court and have just an outstanding knowledge of the game. No, we're not doing that.
Penny Hardaway.
Curry definitely changed the game.
What did he just say?
Curry definitely changed the game. He made 3-point shooting sexy again. He made 3-point shooting and then a very important aspect in a team's offense. He's showing you that if you put up enough threes, you can win. But it was the defense of Draymond Green that got them over the top. Because if it was just Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they don't win no rings playing that way.
No.
You got to have some kind of defense on the back end. And then Andre Iguodala was also a very important aspect to them winning rings. But Steph Curry changed the game when it comes to that 3-point line. Yeah, he only won ring off Magic. But at the end of the day, rings only count for so much. You can't get into the conversation without a ring. You know what I mean? You can't get into the conversation without a ring. But then once you're in that conversation, we got to start breaking it down. What else did you do as a player? Magic Johnson he's checking everything off the list. Curry has always been a liability on defense, and that's why I think Magic gets the key. Then he don't guard every position, can't play it like he did.
So
Magic had good players too.
Yeah, Magic did, and Magic had not only. Here's two things we need to know about Magic. Magic had good players. His first ring, he probably had the worst coach in the NBA. Let's just go ahead. Paul Westhead was we don't play no defense. He was the early version of Mike D'Antoni. If you want to know where Mike D'Antoni got his offense from, he got it from Paul Westhead. Paul Westhead was the worst coach he wasn't even supposed to be the head coach. So, I'm not speaking ill of the dead. Paul Westhead's offense had a place. It was in college basketball. It was not in pro basketball. And even in college basketball, when he got into the NCAA finals and they started playing teams that play defense, hey, dog, you're not going to run 1,000,000 miles an hour. We're finna walk this thing down and make you play defense. And that was the end of that. If you never heard, look up Loyola Marymount. Great offensive team. Big history there. I'm not going to get into it, but look it up. But yeah, Magic had great teammates. But that first championship pretty much let everybody know who Magic was. After that, Pat Riley jumped on the scene and it became something else. But again, you know, at some point, like Gilbert Arenas gonna mess around and somebody gonna pull up on him. Like he just keep poking the bears, and I'm just like, dude, stop. Just stop. Like, you ought to see what happened to JJ Redick. Because if Bob Cousy roll up on him with that cane, it's gonna be over. But I digress.
I thought he would already rolled up on him. What you say, son? You want to run that by me one more time?
So, sad story. stupid story. Shohei Ohtani is going to not pitch for the rest of the season because he's going to need to have Tommy John surgery. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Anaheim Angels could have traded him, got a boatload of draft picks for him, and would not be in the predicament they in now.
Hindsight is always 2020.
What other player on their team selling tickets?
Exactly.
Ain't none of them selling tickets. The highlights of Shohei Ohtani is empty stands. That's the highlights. Empty stands.
I mean, when you feel like you're trying to hold on to what you think is your best player, you know, you're not anticipating them getting hurt. But you're right. There is nobody there. That like those tickets are like $15 a piece right now.
Like,
if you want to get right up behind the home plate, it might cost you about $50, $60. You be right there though, catching all the foul balls.
Cause they ain't gonna win. And Mike Trout is on the injury reserve list again. So I mean, what are you going to watch? What are you going to watch? You got two.
Then you gotta think about it. Did they feel like they were in rebuild mode, or are they in building mode and they're using the pieces that they have and trying to build around them? Because there's two different ways you look at trying to get better. We either rebuild where we clear house, get new guys in, or we look at what we got and we try to build around that.
Yeah, baseball is so fickle. Trout contract has to be close to an end.
300.
Like
it's 300.
No, I'm saying it has to be close to the end. Like he signed a 5-year deal, a 6-year deal, or something. They got to be close to coming to an end so they can move that money. I'm sure this is probably what the front office thought process was. But this probably was the best thing that could have ever happened to Anaheim.
You think so?
Yeah, because they got paid $600 million.
He didn't get cheaper.
Gone.
He's definitely got cheaper, and you don't know what athlete's coming back from Tommy John.
This is also true.
But his bat ain't gonna change. That dude he can swing the stick.
Yeah.
So you are gonna get a great offensive player, but will you get that pitcher? Will he change roles from being a starting pitcher who can go 9 innings to a reliever or a closer? Who knows? But he's definitely gotten cheaper.
Yeah.
100% so. Boy.
It's hard to go to a team like I got Ohtani. I need 6 players and money. Now they like, man, I got some annihilators and
a bag of chips.
I'll give you Giancarlo Stanton for Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's kind of cooked at that point, boys. It's kind of cooked.
Oh.
You know, which is kind of sad. You know, your heart go out to the man because he's just out here playing the sport he loves, and injuries, you can't predict them. And you know, it's very unfortunate for everybody involved because this is gonna hurt his paycheck just as much as it's gonna hurt, you know, that organization, whether or not they keep him or if they try to move him. But now it's ooh, you ain't gonna get much now.
But if you got a team, say, like he's gonna stay on the West Coast, but you got the Dodgers sitting out there. They didn't clear up a whole bunch of cap space. You got San Diego. They gotta do something about their cap. But you got teams that are going to be contenders. Like, as long as the Dodgers don't implode, they're definitely going to be in the mix. They're going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, if he's gotten cheaper, he could tell Anaheim, yeah, I'm straight. I ain't trying to sign with y'all again. Should have made that pull that trigger earlier.
Right.
I'm gonna bet on me, and I'm gonna go out here in this free agency and let the cards land where they lie.
And he's also still put into a unique situation where next year he's on a contract year. And they're gonna have to decide whether or not to pay him at the end of it. Now, you can negotiate a contract prior to the season, or you can, like you said, bet on yourself, play it out, and quite possibly get a groundbreaking deal. It's all gonna come down what he chooses to do.
So if he elects after the season, he sit out all next year. He gotta come back.
Here's the other thing: the Tommy John surgery. This is second Tommy John. This ain't his first. This is second. But we'll monitor that and see how that go. All right. So it's that time of year where in training camp, random injuries start to happen. And if you drafted your fantasy league anytime but the day before the season start, you did it to yourself. Jared Judy got a hamstring injury. It would not be an issue if he didn't play wide receiver. But because he played wide receiver, he could be fine. But every other week, he could be going out with a hamstring injury. Just, you never know. You absolutely never know. So,
and I tell people this all the time. I was talking to my cousin. He was like, "Yeah, we doing our fantasy draft this weekend," and this was a week ago. And I gave him a story. I was getting ready. I was in the middle of drafting my team, right? And it was on a. It don't matter what day of the week it was. There was football on the TV while we were drafting. I was watching the Packers game. Jordy Nelson was killing it on the first drive. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna take Jordy Nelson. I'm liking this. Took Jordy Nelson. The next drive, blew out his knee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all remember the year Jordy Nelson missed the whole season with a torn ACL, but I drafted him while watching the game. You know how sick I was after I see that in the draft still going on, so now I have to pick another receiver because I'm already knowing that I just wasted my 4th round selection. It was either 4th or 3rd. It was an early pick because, back then, Jordy Nelson was giving you 12, 13 touchdowns a season, 1,400 yards. So, yeah, kids, your fantasy draft should be literally the day before the regular season kicks off. That's the only way to make sure that you're not coming into the year with some preseason injuries. The only way.
Because I am here to tell you, there's a lot of dudes that got mad because they got injuries that happen in the middle of preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, you just get that good news. And the good news that I got is the Kansas City Chiefs keep playing with Chris Jones' money.
I thought
if
they
y'all
paid
don't pay that man, no, they ain't pay that man. They paid him 4 years ago $80 million. This the last year on that $80 million deal. Keep playing with that man money. We will win the division. That man said he gonna come back week 8. That man said he coming back week 8. If they don't pay him, he coming back week 8. I said what I said.
Chris Jones has been the best defensive tackle in the NFL for the past 4 years. Now, if that doesn't qualify to being paid as the highest defensive tackle, I don't know what does. And they won rings. You kind of breaking up, Marlo.
Yeah, Marlo. I think you want to bring up Aaron Donald.
Yeah, he's still.
Aaron Donald is a defensive end.
That ain't got nothing to do with the Kansas City Chiefs not being able to stop the run. Because if they go into the season without Chris Jones, you know what the Raiders do? You know the only thing we can do? Run the football. Run this football. And if the only thing you can do is drop back and pass, and the Raiders can run the ball, have you played Madden against me? Have you played Madden against me? Because clearly you have not if you think that the Kansas City Chiefs can just not have Chris Jones and win the division. Absolutely insane. I can't wait till the season starts. Don't pay that man. Keep playing with that man money. Please. Please. Keep playing with that man money. Keep playing with that man money. Boy, I'm talking about I was the happiest Raider fan in Raider Nation when I seen that. That man said, I'll show up week 8. Because if he show up week 8, TP, he get credit for the whole season, and he's an unrestricted free agent. Keep playing with him.
Oh man. Like DJ said, even though they got the best QB in Pat Mahomes, without Chris Jones, that defense doesn't do anything. They're not getting stops without Big 95 in the middle. He literally has changed game plans. And I don't think he gets the credit he's due for the simple fact that he plays with Patrick Mahomes. It's the Mahomes show. It's the Travis Kelce show. It's the Andy Reid show, because everybody know who Andy Reid is. There's a lot of coaches in the NFL that people you can't even. Hey, I can tell you, I can ask you a team, and you will not be able to tell me the coach of that team. You'd be like, oh, that's so and so. Who's the Lions coach? You know what I'm saying?
Oh God, it's a dude talking about biting ankles. That's who the Lions coach.
You know what I mean?
Oh God.
But having somebody like Chris Jones on your defense is very important. The game is won and lost in the trenches, believe it or not. If the Chiefs didn't have a good offensive line, they would be doing a whole lot worse. Creed Humphrey has been
that Super Bowl against the Bucs. Told it all.
He was running for his fucking life the whole game. They were literally on Pat Mahomes' ass. And then once he hurt his leg a little bit and couldn't move, it was really curtains at that point. Oh, it was ugly.
Marlo
He's throwing passes sideways. He's doing whatever he can to get the ball from behind the line of scrimmage to close to one of his receivers. And that wasn't about to win the Super Bowl.
That was
all of a sudden
I saw.
Here he go.
That was beautiful.
And here he go.
I'm just saying, from a football observer, you take one of the most exciting offenses ever to grace the damn NFL, and you hold them to no point. That was just a genius in defensive game plan.
You know what? I don't know. I don't have no complaints with them winning that Super Bowl, because I got the greatest feeling the next season. The absolute next season. Because Aaron Donald absolutely decimated the Bucs' entire offensive line. So the Bucs got their Super Bowl. It was worth it. I just want to point this out. And there's no reason to say this at all, but I'm going to say it anyway. Stop acting like Joe Montana ain't exist. Just stop it.
There you go with that again.
So, TP.
How many times did Joe Montana get to the Super Bowl?
You finna really? We finna do this?
I'm just asking a question.
TP. You in college. 100%
Graduated
is an
college.
A. You graduated college. 100% is an A. 100% is an A. Am I right or wrong?
But I thought we was talking about football.
We are. I'm asking a question. 100% is an A, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So if 100% is an A and 70% is a C, how does the A
That's a D.
student get put behind a D student? You know what? We finna move on. I ain't playing with y'all right now. I'm not finna play with y'all right now.
I mean, you making my argument for me because
I'm not doing this right now.
your argument doesn't make any sense. So Robert Ory should be the greatest of all time if you put it like that.
Nobody ever made the statement that Robert Ory is the greatest of all time.
But
Never.
If we're going by rings and how many times they won it without losing it, or Bill Russell, not Mike. If we're going to do that,
full disclosure, fans.
I just said that though.
But I'm talking about
full disclosure, fans.
I'm talking about this gentleman over here who's being a little bombastic about Joe Montana when he ain't saying all the times he ain't even make it out the playoffs, make it to the championship round. So that's all I'm saying.
So the reason I don't bring that up is because if I bring that up, that then introduces other arguments for LeBron James not to be considered in the top 5. I don't bring that up because people will bring up when he got. I don't bring up Robert Ory, and I don't bring up anything outside of championships because of that. It's also the reason that I have publicly said I don't know if Patrick Mahomes can jump over Tom Brady. Because if he lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, you can't jump over the dudes you lost to. It's also the reason why when I look at the Super Bowl resume of Tom Brady and his losses, it's the same way I look at LeBron James in the finals and his losses. You can't be losing to JJ Barea and I say you the GOAT. You cannot lose to Nick Foles and I say you the GOAT. You cannot lose to a dude, and somebody need to put some respect on Eli Manning's name. You cannot lose to Eli Manning twice when you have the Goon Squad and you undefeated at that point to a dude that just barely got into the playoffs and got hot. You can't do it. But that's neither here nor there. If Chris Jones is not on that squad, my Raiders go into the playoffs. You heard it here. I said it here first. But getting back to this Arizona Cardinals, TP, what is going on with the Arizona Cardinals? First, you get a tiny tot, the richest contract at that point in NFL history, the second richest contract in NFL history at that point. You get that to the tiny tot. He ain't even going to play this year. You fire your head coach. Now you trading everybody.
They traded Isaiah Simmons for a 7th-round pick and a bag of chips.
To the
Giants.
Dallas might not go to the playoffs. Dallas might. Why? And I hate to say that because there's some FAMU dudes on that squad that I really want to see do well. But I'm sorry.
It ain't the Cowboys that is really the Commanders. The Commanders are so fucked right now. They don't even know how fucked they really are until this season starts. The Commanders are beyond fucked.
Well,
the Cowboys still have a
sake.
good chance of making the playoffs. Even I say what I want about the Cowboys. I don't like them. Don't like the fans. Don't like Jerry Jones. Whatever. Being realistically, or speaking realistic, the Commanders are last in that in that situation. In the NFC East, the Commanders are last. The Giants defense just added a player who can play anywhere, and a defense that sends random people at the quarterback. This is the most random defense you've ever seen. You don't know who the fuck coming. They'll bring every and not send one. Or they'll bring every DB to the line and send all of them and drop linebackers in the coverage. You don't know who the fuck is coming. You don't know if it's coming from the left. You don't know if it's coming from the right. They'll bring everybody down on the right. And then they'll bail and the blitz will come from the other side. I love watching the Giants play defense. And even more so, Isaiah Simmons is somebody who I've always been a huge fan of.
Do you know?
Part of the reason I have a son named Isaiah.
TP, do you know this man single-handedly dismantled a playoff season for the Raiders in one game? One game. The walk-on ain't been the same since. And I will not say his name until he show me he is anything other than a walk-on.
Not the walk-on.
I don't even like Clemson to start with. I don't like nothing about Clemson. So the fact that you on my team and you look halfway decent to where I was saying your name, and then you showed me you was a walk-on again.
There you go. What you got against Clemson? Never mind. Don't answer that.
A grown-ass man named Dabu Sweeney.
I said don't answer
it. Oh, God. All right. TP. The Colts have given Jonathan Taylor till Tuesday to find a draft partner that's willing to give up a first-round draft pick. Because in Jerk Irsay's, and that's what his new name is now, Jerk Irsay. Because Jerk Irsay has said, you know what? I was wrong. You have a right to go find a trade. You got a week to go find me somebody after they midway through the preseason to give me a first-round draft pick for you. I've said to the world, you're not a first
round. He know that ain't gonna happen. That's why he said it. There's no fucking way.
You're not gonna pay that man like a first-round draft pick, but you want him to find a partner that's gonna give you a first-round draft pick. You've already ruined this man's value from the start of preseason. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be running backs. Let them be quarterbacks, cornerbacks, wide receivers, and safeties. Hell, let them be defensive linemen, left tackles, and such. But mamas, do not let your babies grow up to be running backs. Somebody clip that
running
for
back
me.
Market,
that was a bar.
The running back market is so fucked. We got really what it is. It's not a position that you necessarily need to have the best player at to be good. Not saying you don't need to have a decent running back, But if your offense isn't predicated on the running back and you've built around your quarterback and receivers, the running back is just another piece of the puzzle that you got to have somebody decent. Look at the Chiefs. They don't care who the fuck is at running back. Anybody heard of Isaiah Pacheco before last year? Probably not. You know what I mean? And he changed the way they played football towards the end of that season. They was able to run that ball. But he wasn't somebody that was highly sought after, and then they built him up, and it turned into being a very good combination. But when you have these big name running backs, people are thinking like, why would I pay a king's ransom when I can do what the Chiefs did and just go find me an Isaiah Pacheco to get me, where I need to be?
So,
but Jonathan Taylor, I don't see them getting a first round draft pick. Teams don't even like using their first round draft pick on running backs.
So, sources are saying that Jonathan Taylor is trying to get to the Dolphins. So much so that he's willing to figure out a pay cut to get to the Dolphins. Because if he get to the Dolphins, he might be able to run wild. Tua might not end up with 5 concussions this year. It might be a good trade for the Dolphins. But he's trying to get to the Dolphins, and I hope he get there. I hope Marlo's still with us. I hope he's still with us. I hope he's still with us. Real quick note.
I couldn't hear y'all. No. I'm mobile right now.
So we gonna get the 2 quick items. Corey Davis is stepping away from football at the age of 28. I would love to say it's the Aaron Rodgers effect, but he probably got some stuff going on in his personal life. Hopefully it is not anything. I'm praying it's not anything like when Calvin Ridley said he was stepping away from football. I'm hoping that is not the case. So I'm praying for the best. But as I predicted on the Gathering of Old Men podcast, Baker Mayfield is the Bucs starting quarterback. Let's go. Give that man a round of applause.
I told y'all he was gonna be the starting quarterback. See how that just took the thunder out of all that you just did. see how that worked. Hell yeah! Let's go, Baker. Woo! Dumbass. You gotta be the dumbest damn coach. Like, when you already are gonna, you on the hot seat, you should have a lot of, let's try something that we haven't tried before in you. Like, we know Baker Mayfield, since he has entered the NFL, has the most interceptions out of any other quarterback during that time. That's even including Jameis Winston, 30 interceptions in 1 year. You still got more. And this the guy you tab to be your star. Like, this got to be on the level of some of the dumbest shit. Like, how you gonna justify that? How you gonna justify that to a fan base? Well, I don't like the decision. Pretty much hate it. But I'm a Buck. So I'm gonna ride with my team. I'm gonna be at every game. I'm gonna do that. But he better be on a short lease. He better not have no damn 3 interceptions in no game and think it's gonna be okay. You ain't just going back to the sideline and looking at no damn tablet, bruh. You better. Okay. Okay. We can do that. I want to see that shit. You throw 3 interceptions and go to the sideline and sit on the bench and look at a tablet. You better be looking at the stands. Your ass better have your head on the swivel because it is going down in T-Town. I do. Okay, Baker. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. You are the starting quarterback of my team. I bet your ass. Okay.
Be calling for
That's
Baker
that.
to be off the field 2 games in.
2. Let him throw 3 interceptions in 1 game. The first one. I wish a mother. What I'm trying to say is we play the game to win. If he is not on the field with that mentality and with those results, he does not need to be on the field. That is all I'm saying. And they tried. He tried some.
You play to win the game.
You
You don't
play
play to
to
just play
win.
it. You don't play to just play it.
They're not. I don't know if they're gonna like me in the stands, cause I let my grievance be known.
So fans, where Marlo's season tickets are, as the team is going into the tunnel, into the locker room, go right by his season tickets.
Okay.
Oh God.
Play with it, big girl. This Ty Bo's fault. He responsible for whatever happened.
Y'all know what? It would be beyond me to not make this about me. I just want everybody to remember when I was saying that I should pull up on Josh McDaniels, how Marlo treated me.
I did not treat you in that
And
way. I just said, how is that your coach and you want to fight him before they even coach a game? Like you, Josh McDaniels, you got to show me whatever. Bruh, I'm just
oh man, the Marlo is fans. I don't want to apologize for Marlo because he gonna come back because he don't want nobody to apologize for him. But oh, he's back.
yeah,
Oh, he's back.
okay.
Hey, Marlo.
Yeah.
I just, I was telling the fans that I wanted to apologize for you, but I don't want to apologize for you because I know you don't want nobody apologizing for you.
What I'm apologizing for? I mean this shit.
Oh, I know. I know you mean it.
Oh,
I
God.
don't
You
understand
know what?
where the disconnect is.
Right.
Oh, God.
No one
Oh,
likes old heads in the stands. Why? The
that's
old heads are
because
probably gonna be in.
Oppo can't afford the tickets. That's why he's saying that. When you get older,
That's crazy.
Oppo, you'll be able to buy you some bundles and afford you some season tickets too. Don't worry, just keep
You
living. It'll
know,
come.
you know why they tell you to respect your elders? Do you know why?
Look around,
Because karma is a bitch.
look around and find out.
No, it's because karma is a bitch. You spend your whole life talking down on elders, and then you wake up one day and you the elder, looking for some respect. But you've been talking shit your whole life. Now, when the shoe on the other foot, now you operating on the bad foot.
Oh God. Oh man. So I
So did
don't know why this.
somebody said I should apologize, or that they
No,
somebody?
I was saying that maybe I should apologize, but I don't want to apologize for you because I know how you feel about people apologizing for you.
Oh,
Specifically, I don't know if we talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it, but there was a very popular segment, the Debo segment, And Marlo was talking about, we was talking about the volleyball team at Grambling. So just so everybody know, FAMU volleyball team won the SWAC.
Yeah.
Just so everybody know. So there's that.
And we're gonna win again this year. And we won baseball, and we won tennis. Like and we won golf.
Oh man, baseball and tennis.
Like I don't
And
understand
you know
what
the best part about the best baseball championship? Marlo, you know the best part about the baseball championship though? They beat that team in Daytona.
Yeah, we beat Jackson State. And we beat Cookman.
Oh my
We
bad.
beat Cook.
It's just, you know what? You know what? I appreciate Marlo letting us know how he feel about Baker Mayfield. But I just, you know what? It's that time of year. Don't y'all feel it? MEAC SWAC Challenge this weekend. And some other PWI games nobody don't want to see. Nobody don't want to see no USC versus San Jose State. Nobody don't want to see that shit. But that MEAC SWAC championship with all 5 of the MEAC fans in attendance, oh man, it's gonna be glorious.
Wow.
It's gonna be glorious.
Did you say 5?
He said 5.
Damn.
They ain't got but 6 schools in the conference.
Yeah, but South Carolina State, they travel. They gonna be there.
Ain't nobody scared of no South Carolina State. Now that being said, I don't like them V people either. I don't like nothing about them V people. I ain't forgot what y'all did to me. It ain't over. It's gonna be on in 2 weeks. Don't worry, I'm gonna be in the building. I ain't forgot. That being said, grudges aside, South Carolina State, Jackson State, in Atlanta, SWAC MEAC Challenge. All the shit talking that's been done on Twitter for the last 4 months, it's gonna come down to this. Cause them D people said they was bigger than Prime before Prime got there. And when Prime left, ain't nothing changed. They still gonna run the SWAC. 2 years, I guess it's a long time. But they say they still gonna run it. Still trying to find their Black National Championships, but that's just me being petty. Last time I checked, South Carolina State in the Black National Championship game, or the Celebration Bowl, put hands and feet on Jackson State. It was not pretty. Jackson State better learn how to play smash mouth football. The South Carolina State, they coming to bring the lumber. It's gonna be some hitting. All that passing and throwing bubble screens, that ain't gonna work. If you can't line up and run between them tackles, Jackson State got some. South Carolina State got something for you. And their coach announced
it starts and ends in the trenches. If you get dominated in the trenches, you're gonna have a long game.
Their coach is retiring, TP. This man win percentage is ridiculous. He won his first 11 matchups against FAM. His first 11. He lost the last 3. New coach, new regime, new attitude. But he got into the MEAC and just started whooping everybody. But they got a little extra incentive. Their coach announced that he was retiring this year. This is last year. Boy, if them boys get a lead on Jackson State, it's over. It's over. You think playing me in Madden is a problem? If them dudes get 14 points on the board before y'all score, y'all go ahead and cancel Christmas. But hopefully it's a high-scoring exciting game. If you are a fan of HBCU football, I need you to understand this. If you cannot make it to the game, this is important. The game is going to be on ABC. If you have the ability to, it will be free. Watch the game on the ESPN app. You can download it on your Roku TV, your Google TV, your Prime TV. You can download the app and you can watch it on the app as opposed to watching it through your cable provider. What this does is this generates numbers that both the MEAC and the SWAC can go back and say, hey, the beginning of the year, week 0, we had the biggest audience. These are our numbers. Pay us our money. Because it's no longer, it's not like it was when we was growing up. It's no longer, hey, what are the TV numbers? Not TV numbers no more, it's digital streams now. Because ESPN is getting out of the cable network business. They're going to start pushing everything online, and it's going to be a digital format. That's why all of these teams are reacting the way they are about media rights. Pac-12 broke up because they couldn't get a media deal, or they got a media deal. It was a $20 million media deal from Apple, which had all kind of other crazy incentives. It was nuts. So this is important. I want everybody to go ahead, watch this game. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be, and I'm telling you, 5 minutes after the game, I'm going to be on Twitter. I'm going to either be jaw-jacking at them V people, or I'm jaw-jacking at them people, all 6 of them, 5, 6 of them, all 6 of them MEAC fans, I'm going to be jaw-jacking at y'all. That's what's up. That being said, Marlo, Jackson State, South Carolina State, who you got, dog? Is he still with us? He might not be with us. All right, TP. Who you got? Jackson State, South Carolina State.
I'm taking Jackson State. I think they did enough post Dion to still be a good team. And I don't really know much about South Carolina State, but we're going to find out real quick.
They play ball over there now. Don't slip.
So who you taking, Marlo?
South Carolina State.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I really, I got to be honest with y'all. Like, it don't matter really for me who win. Because, I mean, y'all seen my Twitter. Y'all seen my Twitter. It is what it is. But the football fan in me like the way South Carolina State play football. I think they'll win. It'll be a high-scoring affair. But with all the extra incentive, their coach retiring, I think South Carolina State pull it out. I think that's gonna be the game of the week. All right, so for all that know me, I like to see what's trending, so I check Twitter out. And the question was asked: is the Nick Saban dynasty over? Is it a wrap for Alabama? I'm sure it was some Georgia fans that said that.
You know,
But
where is this coming from? First of all, what has Alabama shown that would let you think that they're even close to slowing down?
And they got the #1 recruiting class.
People just be talking just to fucking talk.
Oh man. I just asked questions. I just asked the questions. I think I think we might have missed one topic, and that's my fault, y'all. That's my fault. I think we missed the topic.
Is it because they think the dogs are about to repeat?
I think there's rumors that people think the Dogs are going to three-peat. We have not seen a three-peat in a real long time.
I don't know who's ever done it 3 times in a row.
I think. Oh, we gonna. That's
my bad, Warhawk. My bad. But you know what I mean? Who's done it 3 times? I've never seen it. Not 3 in a row. We talking about the 1970 Nebraska Huskers. Maybe Bama back in the Paul Bear.
No, Nebraska didn't do it.
I know Miami didn't do it. They was close.
I'm trying like this.
USC
is beyond.
Didn't do it.
Nope. The last one to three-peat. Oh, nobody has won it with the term national title. Minnesota won a three-peat, but it wasn't called a national title then. And it was, I ain't talking about my Minnesota Gophers, my granddaddy Minnesota Gophers. We talking 1936 Minnesota Gophers. They won 3 in a row. Like, and it wasn't even called a national championship then. So, yeah, exactly. 34, 35, and 36. Wasn't even called a national championship back then. So, we've never really seen it. And the amount of luck, and Warhawk, I'm sorry, the amount of luck that is going to be required for them to three-peat. I mean, here's what would have to happen. God would have to uncurse Jimbo Fisher.
Nebraska.
What just happened? This man just derailed the whole podcast and said Nebraska in the chat. Fans, this is how fan interaction goes left. This is an example. But Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M would have to win the West in order for Georgia to three-peat.
Georgia needs to not see Alabama in the SEC championship game. But even then, it doesn't matter who wins the SEC championship because both of those teams, if they only have one loss, whether it be the team goes undefeated, gets there, loses the SEC championship, or they had one loss, win the rest and the SEC championship. If you got 2 one-loss SEC teams in the championship, they're both going to the playoffs. And if Georgia is one of them, because let's face it, they don't have much opposition in the East. Florida, they just lost their quarterback. Who is really challenging Georgia in the East? Not taking nothing away from anything Georgia has done, but when it comes to the teams that's really a challenge for them, they don't have to play Ole Miss. They don't play Bama. You see where I'm going with this? Now, you get to the SEC championship game, even if they lose, they're still going to the playoff because they will be the preseason number 1 overall team.
So here's the only
chance of them the chance of them three-peating is regarded on who they play in the playoff.
If
and I'm
Georgia
before you one last point, Troy. One last point. I'm gonna go out on a limb right now and say it's gonna be Georgia versus USC, New Year's Day.
What?
You heard
USC?
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. It's gonna be Georgia versus. It's gonna be Georgia versus USC, and the Heisman Trophy winning Caleb Williams.
So I told DK this, or I tweeted it out, and apparently DK made the bet. and I tweeted out, if you are betting that USC beat Utah, you ain't been paying attention. Utah think they're an SEC team. I don't know what the weather is in late December or late October, November,
It's
early December.
cold. It's cold.
They run the ball like they old the old Miss. Like them dudes run the ball. And
What's
ain't
up, Dylan?
none of their offensive linemen skinny. What's going on, Peerless? None of their offensive line skinny. None of them. USC is gonna have to find, and Mike Riley is gonna have to, somewhere in his gut, he gonna have to decide that I need beef on my defensive line, and I need to stop the run. Because if you don't stop the run, all this playoff talk ends. Utah mollywopped them, not by score, physical up front. How you? They had a 2-minute rushing drive, TP.
I know.
2
No, I
minutes.
know. I remember. Because
It's
Caleb Williams
it's
didn't play
two
bad. It
teams.
was defense. It was the
Yeah.
defense. Caleb Williams
Defense.
had almost 500 yards
Yeah.
of total offense by himself.
And he needed all of them, and it still wasn't
He
enough.
needed every fucking yard, every inch.
It's two
But
teams
that but
in the
that
college
doesn't mean
landscape.
that doesn't mean that Utah is about to be bringing the same intensity this year. We know what Caleb Williams is capable of doing. So is Utah going to be able to dominate in the trenches like they did last year, or did USC address their problem?
That's the only thing they've ever done. Like, even back to that dude, Urban Meyer, we were talking about, even back to them, that's the only thing they've ever truly excelled at. And again, I don't know for sure if it's weather. Because I've been to Vegas in October. It get kind of chilly at night. I don't know what it's like in
It
Utah.
gets real. It get real chilly at night in Vegas. I used to live there.
So
Get
Utah,
down 30 degrees and windy. No snow though. It ain't gonna snow. But up in Salt Lake City, it's snowing up there in Utah.
so, but we gonna this definitely is, like I said, it's two teams that's just gonna definitely have to be able to stop the run when it comes to this new college landscape. Florida State definitely gonna need to learn how to stop the run, because this LSU game, they ain't that type of run team. But you cannot be losing games to teams that attempt one pass in the second half. That can't happen. Wake Forest cannot be the standard. That cannot happen. Like, you can't be losing those games. But the
They
same
said,
token,
"What's your way too?" They said, "What's your way too early playoff prediction?"
oh man,
OSU, because Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best wide receiver in college football. He will not be guarded all season. If he stays healthy, he will win the Biletnikoff Award and probably become a Heisman finalist. USC, Georgia, Bama. There we go. I think they expanded the playoffs. I'd have to do some research. I'm not sure if they expanded
no,
it
not
this
this year.
year or it
Not
goes
this
into
year.
effect
Yeah,
next year.
next year.
But
Yeah,
that
next year.
that would be my 4 playoff teams. I actually like Michigan. It's a toss up between Michigan and OSU out the Big Ten, but I think USC tops Oregon in the Pac-12 just because of Caleb Williams, and that's where we're gonna be at. That's where we're gonna be at with it. And Georgia and Bama are the class of the South. Clemson ain't back yet. Florida State ain't there yet. LSU still ain't there. I like you say what you want, but I don't like Brian Kelly. I don't give a fuck. I don't like Brian Kelly, and I don't think he's a good coach. I think his name just being around football so long and being part of the good old boys club is how he gets jobs. But that's just that's just me. That's just me. And Mike, hey, I know how you feel about Mark Norvell.
So I'm about to shock everybody, because
Not
everybody know
this year,
how.
DJ. Not this year.
Yeah,
Not this year.
next year. So, oh man, I'm about to say this out loud. Since I believe Florida State gonna beat LSU, Boy, I'm about to walk out on this plank with a coach I don't like. Florida State makes it.
Clip it.
Georgia makes it. Alabama makes it. And Michigan. They make.
Nobody from the West Coast? Nobody from the West Coast gets an invitation.
I don't feel like Mike Riley. Mike Riley is the Mike D'Antoni of college football.
Yeah, we needed that clip. Hey, let me tell y'all something about Troy. Troy think they don't play football west of the Mason-Dixon line.
That is not true. That is not. Listen, it's not true. Listen. Oklahoma head coach.
Troy don't believe that they play football west of the Mason-Dixon line.
Listen, I watched, and we all watched Mike Riley leave Oklahoma when Oklahoma announced they was going to the SEC. And he ran his behind to the Pac-12. Why did he do that?
Hacky sack.
Why did he do that? It's a reason he did that. And he ain't scared of Jimbo Fisher. Ain't nobody scared of Jimbo Fisher.
But what you seeming to forget is the Pac-12 is still a power conference. And they have the luxury of having two top-heavy teams. Either Oregon or USC are going to run the table, and it's going to be very hard to not put one of those undefeated teams into the playoffs. You won't be able to justify it. You can say, oh, they're not playing nobody. They're not playing nobody. But at the end of the day, one of those teams are getting in.
So we got 3 seasons. Mike Riley been there 2. We got 3, maybe 4 seasons in a row of USC having the opportunity to go to the playoffs.
They was one game short.
This last one game cycle, the players that we thought he would need, defensive front, because that's been the issue, he did not pull in the players that he needed. And California, like Florida, you probably can get away with some 3 stars. The problem is that goddamn team in Utah, they not getting regular corn-fed Nebraska boys. They got dudes coming over from the islands or born here. Their lineage is from the islands. They doing a haka on the way to class. Them dudes eating pork and pineapples on the way to class. Them ain't no little dudes. If it wasn't for that, I say USC got a shot. But too many times USC have had the opportunity to be like, we gonna be that squad, we the team to beat, and it's Utah. It's always fucking Utah. That's the stumbling block. And I don't understand why. I can't, I don't understand why. And please understand, my Florida State prediction, I'm the same guy that said old Cornrow, if he loses this first game, fire his ass on the tarmac. He don't get on the plane. I said what I said. It is too much talent on this Florida State team to not run the ACC, to not put yourself in a position to be in playoff contention. There's too much talent. This ain't, oh, I ain't got enough talent. It's too much talent.
My Longhorns are getting their revenge on Bama this year. We got cheated last year. If you want to go there, let's go there. We can really do this right now. Longhorns in the playoffs. We beat Bama and we beat the Sooners. That's the only 2 things standing in our way. If you want to if you want to go there, we can go there. You say Florida State, I say Longhorns. Fuck it. They cheated us last year. Bryce Young threw what? It should have been 4 interceptions. They DBs was grabbing and holding our receivers all game. There was a safety that was called an incomplete pass where the man was upside down and threw the ball a little bit forward. Didn't get to the line of scrimmage. Somehow that's incomplete though. I didn't understand the rules of football at that point. But if that's where we're going with this, put my Longhorns in the championship, man. Fuck it.
Oh man. Listen, Big Ten fans, please understand. Like, it's a lot of Big Ten talk. Y'all do know, like, Wisconsin is trying to throw the ball. This is going to be like a comedy show watching the Big Ten this year. Like, outside of Michigan and Ohio State, it is going to be absolute calamity. Purdue, who coach went back to his alma mater, is running the air raid this year. You ever try to run the air raid in the snow? It's a reason that most teams that run the air raid are usually in Texas. It's a reason for that. I ain't never heard nobody in Indiana in November trying to run the air raid.
You know
Indiana's
why?
a long way from Lubbock, Texas.
It is. I know how far the drive is. Maybe. Multiple times.
So I just like all the Big Ten tough talk. Listen, there's two teams. That's it. Nobody to talk about. Northwestern ain't been a fact there 10 years. Like, come on, man. Y'all
Northwestern
gonna
is
hang
still battling sexual assault allegations. I don't know if they're gonna even be able to focus on football. They could fuck around and get the death penalty, but I doubt that happens.
Nobody wants to do the SMU what got done to SMU. By the way, SMU.
I mean, they still ain't recovered.
It ain't personal. We know y'all got the money to come to the ACC. But I want to say this. If they let Stanford and they let Cal into the ACC, let SMU in also. Because SMU got oil money. And the moment Florida State leave the ACC, do you realize these people got in trouble for paying players and now they can pay players legally? Y'all gonna fuck around and put these people in a Power 5 and they never gonna lose again.
I agree with what DJ said though. There's nobody really challenging Nebraska in the East. Well, the West, my bad. The Big Ten West. Because Ohio State and Michigan are both in the East. So after that, they got Wisconsin over there. Was it Oklahoma State? Trash.
No, it's
Iowa. Illinois. Are the Cyclones in the Big Ten? Is Iowa State Cyclones in the Big Ten? I think they are. And they asked to.
I don't.
Minnesota, Northwestern. The Hoosiers are in the East. You think Matt Rule is the answer? Oh man, see, what you talking about?
Are we drinking tonight?
Where has Matt Rule been effective? Because he wasn't effective with Carolina. They were terrible. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna fuck around and find out. Baylor is in the Big Ten now. That's crazy. Everybody said fuck the Big 12. Even the Longhorns and Sooners are leaving next year. Like the Big 12, such a shit conference. The Big 12 is such a shit conference. They lost everybody. And it started to go downhill when Texas A&M went to the SEC.
Yeah.
The TP is out here blasting their ass. Oh, all right.
I just don't.
This was the disrespect segment. You ain't even let me know. I didn't hear the
I wasn't ready for it. You just took off. I wasn't even ready for it. You just took off. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and cue this up for him. Real quick.
You know, I started letting motherfuckers have it. I don't care.
Okay.
The Texas A&M Aggies went to the SEC on the whim of Johnny Manziel, who literally railroaded that whole organization. They might be doing better. They might have did better that year, but since then, how many winning seasons does A&M have? They finished dead last in the SEC West last year. Dead fucking last.
Who was the head coach?
I don't even know the motherfucking name.
Muller, who is Texas A&M head coach?
I forgot his
buddy.
name. I know he's complaining about NIL deals while paying NIL deals.
Oh my God.
So now you a bad coach and a hypocrite? Goddamn, boy, you just can't win for losing, can you? You can't win.
And he ain't no bad coach overnight.
No, he's been a bad coach. He's been a bad coach. I cannot think of the motherfucker. What's his name, Troy? What's his name?
Oh, you talking about a grown ass man named Jimbo Fisher?
Jimbo.
Your goddamn name, Jimbo Fisher.
Yep, Jimbo.
Like,
but it don't end with him. Whoever the coach is over at Ole Miss saying the same dumbass shit too. We sitting here complaining about NIL deals while paying NIL deals. Hey, I'm just saying, it's bad for football. I'm gonna take advantage of it, but it's bad for football. Look, if I thought something was wrong or bad, I wouldn't partake. Because you lose that moral standard to stand on when you've already broken yours. You cannot talk about what somebody else is doing if you too yourself are not living by a certain standard. And if you believe what this certain standard is. Like all them people that in the PGA was like, oh, I would never take Saudi money. I would never take Saudi money. But now the Saudi is paying the PGA. So guess who money you getting paid from? But it's considerably less. Who looks fucking stupid now? Same shit going on in the NCAA.
It is a
NCAA getting sued again.
I just
Reggie Bush said,
Sorry.
"Oh, y'all wanna do it like what?
I need my fucking Heisman's back. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. I'm saying thank you because it's already done.
Yeah, and it should.
So, Reggie Bush is suing the NCAA, and it wasn't originally a topic because I was waiting on a legal scholar to get back with me to give me the gist of it. But from what my understanding is that when they started talking about NIL money and that coming into the game, reporters were asking, is Reggie Bush eligible to be considered a Heisman Trophy winner again? Because NIL is now legal. And according to NCAA rules, and this is true, pay to play, and I'm gonna be very specific. A school cannot pay you to play football for their squad. Reggie Bush got in trouble because an outside agent was paying his parents money and renting them an apartment and all of that stuff. So USC did not pay to play. Now, unless the NCAA got some evidence that USC directed this dude to pay these people, that's something different. That'll come out in the discovery. But as it stands right now, from what is known, Reggie Bush was not a pay player, so therefore he should be eligible to get his Heisman's back.
You think it's gonna be discovery? Do you really think this is go?
No,
this is not gonna come close to getting litigated.
They are going to give him his Heisman, and they're going to give USC a Heisman because when you win a Heisman, there are two made. One goes to the school, one goes to the player. So they're going to give him the Heisman's back.
And they're going to get some money. And he's getting money.
He's asking for money. I don't even think he asked for money. I dead ass think he just asking for his reputation. That's pretty much it.
When you say that somebody destroyed your reputation, there is a dollar number attached to that.
Do you know what that's called?
That's defamation.
Called defamation of character.
Yep.
I need all my money, please. And thank you.
Y'all cost me a broadcasting career. Y'all cost me the ability to make money outside of football by slaying my name. You think that ain't got no dollar amount?
That's defamation.
That's why he had to date a Kardashian.
No, he dated a Kardashian when he was at New Orleans playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was still playing back then.
Oh, but since we're in the disrespect segment, the first week of the season, because this is week 0, the first week of the season, Florida State will be playing LSU. And the 5 people from LSU that get on Twitter and say something, because the rest of y'all just church mouse quiet. I said what I said. If you don't like what I said, say something. LSU will be losing their talented defensive lineman Mason Smith for the season opener against Florida State for impermissible benefits. I don't even care what impermissible benefits are. He ain't gonna be there. I don't want to hear no crying about, I don't want to hear it. We didn't have a head coach last year. So what? We still won. I don't want to hear it. We got to have a head coach this year. If you get your ass whooped, it goes in the wins and loss column. If we lose, it go in the loss column. If we win, it go in the win column. And if we win, y'all might as well turn Twitter off. I'm going to be a problem. I pay for a check mark so I can tweet my ass off all day and all night. And everything going to be hashtag LSU. From the end of the game to 5 o'clock the next morning. I'm just going to have tweets loaded up, ready to go. I'm going to be a whole ass problem. Whew. So, DJJ just let me know that 46 minutes ago, the Colts rejected the Dolphins' offer. Of course they did. Of course they did. You want to know why? Jerk Irsay. Jerk Irsay is what he is. He had no intentions at all of releasing that man. None. Like, I don't even know, you know what?
This man said, I need a first round pick.
For a dude you won't pay first round money to.
Right.
And let's also go ahead and acknowledge the fact that the Dolphins don't really have a first round pick to just willy-nilly give away. Because they might have to get a quarterback after this season. Oh, no. You I'm sorry, DJ. No. His name isn't Irsay. His name is Jerksay. That's what we call him like from here on out.
It sounds like pig Latin. Sound like you speaking in pig Latin.
I'm just like, come on, man. Drug this man all summer and then go, okay, go ahead and find a trade. How the hell he gonna find a trade? Marlo is back. Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah, that dude, yeah.
I think y'all missing the big picture on that whole thing. If they think they're hurting Jonathan Taylor, they are in for a rude awakening. Because if he decides to sit out this season, what are they gonna do?
Have a worse season than the Bucks? They're gonna ruin a quarterback trying to run quarterback option. That's what they're gonna do.
But then you don't get any value for him. So not only is he gonna be able to go any way he wants to, but your team loses in the end. Like this is chess, not checkers.
Who believes that Jerk Irsay thinks that Richardson is his franchise quarterback? Who believes that? I'm just saying.
Irsay gives me plantation owner vibes. I don't even know why they drafted a black quarterback to begin with.
They
I
had
live in
Jacoby
Indiana.
Brissett.
Look, I live in Indiana. And let me tell you something. They didn't want Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Until Tony Dungy became a winner there, they didn't want him there either.
So it's hilarious at best. So you know, it is what it is. So TP Marlo. There
That
was,
time of the week again.
yeah, man. It's that time of the week because there was a documentary on Netflix by this organization called Untold. So there are these untold stories. So they had Johnny Manziel Untold Story, which was really an attempt to reclaim his reputation. Then there was this Swamp Kings BS. Full disclosure before I go into my little rant. Tim Tebow, in my opinion, is the most overrated quarterback in NCAA history. He not top 5 in rushing because everybody, oh, well, he run the ball. He not top 5 in rushing. He ain't even better than Jamel Holloway, the great Oklahoma Sooner. He ain't, oh, I got a weird old bug over here. He ain't top anything in passing. But they set the scene as Tim Tebow comes to Florida and changes everything. Mind you, and everybody need to be aware of this. And I really hate Florida, but this really makes me hate Florida. Chris Leak, when he left Florida, was the SEC leading passer in yards and touchdowns over Eli Manning, over Peyton Manning. Just pick somebody. When Chris Leak left, it was him. Yet, these goddamn Gators was cheering for Tebow to run a quarterback draw for a first down. Now, I want to be fair to Tim Tebow. Like everybody's been fair to other quarterbacks. Maybe Tim Tebow's career would be different if he would have switched to running back. Because he really was a running back that couldn't run real fast. That was big and kind of slow.
He throw it a little bit. He throw it a little bit. But 70% of his passing yards was bubble screens. Mostly to Percy Harvin and Deontay Thomas.
Now, I will give credit to a few things because I didn't know. To be fair, I didn't know Chris Leak faced a allegation of child sexual assault. It never went anywhere. I'll get to that later. I didn't know he faced that. I didn't know that who was it? Chris Leak. That Percy Harvin had been accused of choking out his coach. I didn't know that. I was unaware of those things. So that may be reasons why Percy Harvin wasn't in the documentary. That's fine. You cannot remove Percy Harvin from Florida Gator history. Tim Tebow wins no national championship, and make no bones about it. He was on a national championship team, and he won a national championship. Urban Meyer is the worst human being you can ever imagine. TP, this is how he set up not getting rid of players who probably should have been sent home. There was a player, I'm not going to name his name, who was all world. Great freshman, let him play. He got in trouble for assaulting a young lady. Urban Meyer said, we have a standard for our players. This is the same Urban Meyer that took his his assistant coach that was beating on his wife to Ohio State with him. He said, we have a standard for our players, and I got to let you go. Shortly thereafter, the player died of an overdose. So he set that up for why he didn't do things that he probably should have did. That's what he said. That's how he set it up. That's fine, whatever. But as you dig into it, ain't even TP Marlo. It wasn't a movie. It wasn't like 1 hour documentary. This thing had 4 episodes. And episode 2 was the crowning of the baby Jesus. If ever a man wanted the club of seal, I wanted the club seals when they tried to tell me that the baby Jesus was the greatest quarterback to ever play football. I'm sorry. Tommy Frazier actually existed. You know what? I'm going to say this. Tim Tebow ain't even the greatest Florida quarterback. I said what I said. Matter of fact, he ain't better than Shane Matthews, and Shane Matthews ain't even win a national championship. The fuck we talking about? Fucking Tim Tebow. Y'all, Tim Tebow was a perfect storm of, I got a white guy who believed in God, and y'all know football is like God. So, Tim Tebow, here we come. But, you know, the quarterbacks, they always get drafted to the league. Look at Marlo. Baker Mayfield almost lost his job to Kyle Trash. But I digress. I shouldn't just beat up on Florida. This wasn't all about Florida. This wasn't Florida. Florida didn't know Urban Meyer was a piece of shit. They didn't know. Hell, the whole world didn't know. Till he quit on them twice. Do you know what kind of piece of shit you got to be? To quit on the team one season, say, oh, you can't do it, your hell. Go through another season, lose, and then quit at the other season. Goddamn Urban Meyer, boy. That old Christian, that Urban Meyer. TP.
My boy
segment.
Troy said Paul Crew is a better quarterback than Tim Tebow.
Like, what are we talking about? What are we
I would
talking about?
I would say this. If you watch, which you probably did, and DJ, you have to understand he's a Seminole fan. This is like me disrespecting anybody that has ever played at Oklahoma except for Adrian Peterson because of fuck everybody else. Literally everybody else that's come from Oklahoma except AP because he's from Houston anyway. I don't know what. But at the end of the day,
this ain't even a shit take. He's not. At
the end of the day, Tim Tebow was never a prolific passer. He was a great leader, which is something that you need as your quarterback. You need them to be leaders. And he did that better than anybody, in recent history from the quarterback position at the college level. What we see from a lot of college teams within the last decade is they're usually led by their defense. They're usually led about having a complete team. It ain't just a quarterback. I.e., why Caleb Williams was knocked out of the playoff, out of the situation last year. So Tim Tebow did what he needed to do to win games. Saying he's the greatest quarterback, I think is a stretch, but he was a great leader. Never a prolific passer. He couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. Standing on the beach.
Nah.
But he was a winner.
Gonna go ahead and say this.
He was a winner.
Here are your top 3 Florida passers of all time. Chris Lee. Didn't I say Chris Lee? Danny Werfel. Shane Matthews. Like, quit playing with me, man. This dude was an average quarterback that was physically average quarterback that was a great leader. That's what he was. Even in the
That's what I
documentary,
said.
they take a lot of time saying Brandon Seiler and Tim Tebow, them was the two that team. I would even say Chris drove that team also because if them passing, no matter how many times Tim Tebow run quarterback draw, they not there. But again, it's not the fact that bashing Tim Tebow. That's easy. That's the issue that I have is before I can bash Tim Tebow, why am I bashing Tim Tebow? Why are these other pastors in front of Tim Tebow? Like it's not even 11,000 to 9,000 yards. That's a big gap. And to act like Chris Leak didn't exist, and again, I understand the allegations of, sexual assault on a minor. I understand all of that. But we can't act like it's like when people talk about their top 5 running backs all time, everybody keep forgetting the name Orenthal James. But if you're gonna name a top 5 running back, by the way, Emmitt Smith no longer in my top 5. If you're gonna name a top 5 running back, that top 5 running back got to have a 2,000-yard season. He got to. But again, because of things that we don't want to talk about, we don't tell the truth. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's like when people try to tell me that, fam, you ain't who they is. I'm like, fam, you the only HBCU with an NCAA national championship and 16 black national championships. Quit playing with me. History means something. But, Marlo, it's that time of the week. It's that time of the week, y'all. Marlo, you with us? I'm going to let you get yours in real quick. Because, with Baker Mayfield, he might not be with us, y'all. Baker
I'm here.
Mayfield being his starting quarterback. I'm going to let you go first because I know you're going to need to get yours out of the way quick. I know, it's a rough week for you. You can get it all off your chest. This is a safe space. I understand.
Well, I'll be short and sweet. I don't think Todd Bowles really thought this process through, but that's my team, and I'm rocking with him. So, yay, Baker. That's it.
Oh, wow. Did you see that? TP, you heard that, right?
I heard it.
You heard that.
I
He said,
heard
yeah.
go Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, yay. Not
Oh,
go, yay.
Oh, yay.
Yay, Baker.
go as for the season.
Yay.
Oh, man. Well, I'll go next. It is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I need some theme music. I feel like I need some theme music. Mm, it's that time of year. It's the time of year where fans of their favorite college football team live and die on each win. They anguish in the fourth quarter when it's a 1-point game. They hope their head coach, when their team is on the goal line, don't pick up the headset and call a toss sweep in the middle of the game.
He said happy.
They hope that school in Daytona stub their toe every week for 12 straight weeks.
You
They
got
hope.
you got preseason too in practice.
They hope that the OU squad lose every game by 50. They want Alabama bus AC to go out on their way to the Cotton Bowl. It's that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. It's college football love and hate. I don't care what you don't like about me. Because it's a bunch of people just like me that cheer for the same team as me, that feel like me, that's going to act a donkey like me when our team wins. It's college football love and hate. This is what we've been waiting for all season long. Oh, man. It just warms your heart when them D people get on Twitter and say how they going to beat FAMU. Knowing they done signed the whole labor pool and might not be able to run for 10 yards. But you let them talk. You let Dabble sit there and tell y'all more lies about how their team is better this year. When they're going to be trash. And I have to be honest with myself and my team that if we lose to Wake Forest again, I might choke out my coach. I might actually win the lottery and pay the $100 to march up and down the street in front of his house. So he might lose his summer and want to go somewhere else. It's college football love and hate. We live and die with each play. It's that time of year, y'all. TP. Who is this DJ dude? Somebody ban him.
That's Willie. First of all, let's go Horns. Let's go Texans. See that? You fuck with the bull, you're going to get the horns. Alabama fucked with us last year. The refs fucked with us last year. We might be down Bijan, but we still got Roshan. As long as we got a Sean in the backfield, we good. If our starting quarterback doesn't get hurt in the first 10 minutes of the fucking game, it's a completely different game. If the refs actually open their fucking eyes, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to get into the conspiracy that they might have been paid by the refs. The refs might have been paid. I'm not going to go that far as to say that. I'm just going to say the motherfuckers was blind as hell. They open their eyes and pay attention. You'll see that the Longhorns is a really good team. Our defense is top 5. Our offense can also be top 5. We just got to see if Roshan can handle the weight by itself. At the end of the day, we beat Bama. We run the table. We beat the Sooners. We go to the Big 12 championship game. We win that one too. That's my story. I don't know no other story. Go Horns. Look.
Is the Big 12 still ass?
Absolutely.
I just had to ask
we better run the We better run the fucking table. But we got 2 big games on our schedule. We have 2 big games on our schedule.
To our audience, if you don't run the table, y'all lost in an ass division.
Yep, we ass. Absolutely.
Okay.
Unless we get cheated, then we not ass. We got cheated. We were good, but we got cheated. See what I just did there? Either way it go, we lose, we cheated. We got cheated. We lose any game, we got cheated.
That's funny. That
TP
shit
is gonna stick by his course. Me, I'm trying to run mine out of town as soon as he lose. Zero understandings. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for coming out. Oh my God, thank y'all for coming. I appreciate all the interaction in the chat. Again, you can find us on every platform now. You can actually, in your Amazon device, say, Alexa, play me Gathering of Old Men podcast, and you'll be able to hear us through your Amazon device. That is something new that we added, but we are now everywhere. There isn't anywhere you can go where we ain't. So again, thank y'all for supporting. I will get this
It
episode
is.
out tonight.
It is. Because you can go all you want to Daytona, and you will not see me in that motherfucker. So, besides that, I'm out here.
All right, y'all.